Hey everyone, Dark Skeleton back here again to show you a basic level 1 Paladin deck. And this Paladin deck is part of my series where I show you the intro level deck you may want to play for every single class in Hearthstone. It only uses cards that are available once you finish the tutorial and unlocked the class, which means these cards are available to anyone who has the class unlocked. So let's go ahead and get into it. You can see here that I added all of the base 5 class cards to the Paladin deck. Some of these cards are better than others, but I felt that all of them were justifiable in this Paladin deck. So we start off with the Light's Justice. This is a 1/4 weapon. It is only really useful for taking out very weak, low-cost minions, but since it's a turn 1 play, you can use it on turn 1. You might be able to kill a minion with it, and then still have a few more swings with it after that. Overall, though, it's a pretty weak weapon. You don't really want to end up having to use it to hit big things such as a Boulder Fist Ogre or Stormwind Champion. And as soon as you get the True Silver Champion, which I believe is a Paladin common, you probably want to swap one or both of them out for that card because it's a much better one. Second card is Blessing of Might. Blessing of Might gives a minion +3 attack. There are quite a few interesting uses for this card. It can be used in combination with a charge card to hit somebody very hard out of nowhere. It can be used on a weak minion, such as the Paladin Hero Power, to make a minion with only 1 HP have 4 or 5 attack, which is enough to take out a big minion like a Chillwind Yeti. Or you can use it in combination with the next card to kill a minion without even letting your own minion die. The next card is Hand of Protection, giving a minion a Divine Shield. There's also a Paladin common, which allows you to give a minion a Divine Shield for 2 mana, but it also gives you a 2/2 mana. Argent Protector, I believe it's called. But this is what you have to start off with. Hand of Protection is something you want to use when you want to run your minion into their minion, kill their minion off, and keep your minion alive. So for 1 mana, you could say, give it to a Chillwind Yeti, have it run into a Booty Bay Bodyguard, which has 5 attack and 4 health, and then the Booty Bay Bodyguard will die without your Chillwind Yeti taking any damage at all. It's not a bad card. The creature version may be a little bit better once you get that common. Elven Archer. It is a solid 1/1 drop. The real benefit to playing Elven Archer is its 1 damage battle cry. Considering it only costs 1 mana, it's pretty good. You can use it to pick off weak things like an enemy Paladin's Hero Power, which creates 1/1 tokens, by the way. Or it could take out many Murloc cards, or anything else that's weak, or a minion that is normally tough but had been dropped to 1 HP, which happens more often than you might think. Next card is Holy Light. This card restores 6 health to a creature or to a hero. In general, in this deck, you would want to be using Holy Light to heal the big minions. You won't have the stall potential to allow Holy Light to be worthwhile to be used on yourself. Although it can keep you alive, keeping yourself alive with this deck, which is very value, not much card draw at all, will eventually have you running out of steam. But if you use it on something like a Boulder Fist Ogre, which has 7 health normally, you could heal it back up to full. Same with the Stormwind Champion, and that can make the card have some pretty decent value. Use it on yourself in emergencies if you need to last 1 more turn without dying. Next card is Acidic Swamp Ooze. I know I've already praised this card a lot. It is very good, especially in the higher ranks where people have tons of weapons and they use them commonly. Instantly destroys your opponent's weapon. If you can use it in the early, mid, or late game, destroy your opponent's weapon, and get the minion out on the field, it's very good value. Other than that, it's an average card with 3 attack and 2 health, but the real power is destroying the weapon. Next card is Razorfin Hunter. Another card I've talked quite a bit about. This card gives you a 2/3 minion, and its battle cry is to summon a 1/1 boar. So by dropping this on the field, you have 2 minions. And this has some extra benefit in a Paladin deck, because that 1/1 boar can be comboed with Blessing of Might to make a 4/1, which is good for destroying most minions. And you can also use the Hand of Protection to keep the boar alive if you want. But in addition to that, we have a Frostwolf Warlord, 2 in fact in this deck, which gets +1/+1 for every other friendly minion on the battlefield when it comes into play. So having extra minions with this deck is pretty good to have with those 2 cards. Next is Shattered Sun Cleric. I have also mentioned there's not too many good 3s in the basic starter set, but Shattered Sun Cleric is one of the best ones. So it gives a friendly minion +1/+1. This can allow your minion to trade or to survive a fight without dying. It can be very good when used in the right situation. Next up we have Hammer of Wrath. This is the card draw for the deck, but it also deals direct damage to a minion. It is not a bad card by any means. Deals 3 damage. So it could be used for picking off things like enemies, Razorfin Hunter, or a weakened Chillwind Yeti. Whatever you see on the board, you want to use it on minions almost certainly, unless you're very close to finishing them off. The other drawback to it is that it costs 4 mana, and the reason for that is because of the card draw. So it is best when you use it to clear an opponent's board while keeping minions on your own board. So if you use this with an empty board, it's not as strong as if you already have minions on your board and maybe you're trying to get rid of an enemy taunt, like Ascension's Shieldmaster. In any case, it's not a bad card. Lets you draw a little bit of extra power and deal some nice damage to anything you want. Next we have Chillwind Yeti, the staple value card. 4 attack, 5 health. Very good value, often gets 2-for-1s. Next we have Stormwind Knight, a card I'm not really using in any of the other basic decks so far. And the reason I put it in this one is because since it has charge, it combos pretty well with Blessing of Might. If you, on turn 5, play Stormwind Knight into Blessing of Might, it becomes a 5/5 with charge, able to take out an opponent's minion. Most likely keep it on the field with 5 HP. But if you're going up against something that has an immense amount of attack, say a Core Hound, then you can also throw in a Hand of Protection to make it a 5/5 charge with Divine Shield. Would destroy the Core Hound, leave this guy alive as a 5/5 that you can use next turn. Next we have Darkscale Healer. This card, as I've mentioned, it restores 2 health to all friendly characters. This includes your hero, and in combination with mid-range cards like Chillwind Yeti, Stormwind Knight, or Frostwolf Warlord, that are trading with enemy minions, taking them out, keeping your minions alive, this will help keep your minions on the battlefield even longer and possibly put them out of AoE range like Holy Nova. So I like the card a lot. It is Yeti with a Battlecry effect. Next, we have Frostwolf Warlord. As I mentioned, it gains +1/+1 for every friendly minion on the battlefield. This goes pretty well with the Paladin Hero Power, which for 2 mana allows you to summon a 1/1 any turn you want or every turn. So Paladins tend to have a lot of dudes on the field, and as such that makes Frostwolf Warlord a little bit better. Has the potential to come out as a 6/6 or a 7/7, which is not bad at all for 5 mana. And for the very late game, we have Boulderfist Ogre, of course. Has the Yeti stat line, just a little bit stronger. 6 attack, 7 health, very good stats. Very hard to destroy without at least running 2 minions into it, so it has some pretty good value there. And Stormwind Champion. Since Paladins have that hero power, they do pretty well with the Stormwind Champion. Any minions on the field, while the Stormwind Champion is also active on the field, will gain +1/+1. Your minions, to be precise, not your opponent's minions. So in combination with Paladin, it synergizes pretty well there. Overall, this is mostly a value deck. Hand of Protection allows you to keep minions on the field when they otherwise wouldn't have, and Light's Justice is good for destroying weak minions before they do damage to things you don't want to die, like a weakened Chillwind Yeti, or a, well, what else? Possibly a Shattered Sun Cleric. You wouldn't want a 2/1 to destroy that 3/2. And overall, just play it kind of patiently, control the board. It's a very basic deck, but it should be able to see through your first few matches. Later on, you'll get some better Paladin cards as you level up, and those are cards you're going to want to consider to put in the deck. I'll have an update video for what you can do once you've hit level 10 and unlocked the 5 new class cards. But until then, that'll be it for now, and thank you. I've been Dark Skeleton. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time.